you shall keep it in his appointed season, according to and all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof you shall keep it. Moses spoke unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover, verse 5, on the 14th day of the first month at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. So did the children of Israel. So they kept the Passover. Verse 6, and there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day, and they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man, wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of the Lord in his appointed season among the children of Israel? What are we going to do? We can't keep the Passover. And Moses said unto them, I love this. Stand still, and I will hear what the Lord will command concerning you. He doesn't just start, no, he goes and he seeks wisdom. Super simple thing, right? But what a powerful, beautiful thing for all of us. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, there's one reason right there, okay? Or be in a journey afar off, two reasons, yet he shall keep the Passover unto the Lord. The 14th day of the second month at even they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall leave none of it unto the morning, nor break the bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. But if the man that is clean and is not in a journey and forbears to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of the Lord in his appointed season, that shall bear his sin. Verse 14. And if a stranger shall sojourn among you and will keep the Passover over unto the Lord, according to the ordinance of the Passover, and according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. You shall have one ordinance, both for the stranger or Gentile, and for him that was born in the land. Well, now we have three groups of people. We have those defiled by a dead body. We have those that were too far away to get there. And we have Gentiles. Everybody not from Israel, not Jewish. Jews and Gentiles, only two people on the planet, according to the Old Testament. Jews and everyone else. Well, we saw that, or did we? I don't remember. Did we start in Exodus 12? Let's go there quick, just in case. Forgive me if it's review, verse 40. So this is the original Passover. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. Oh, we did read this. Point being, there shall no stranger eat thereof. Well, here now in the second Passover, God says, all right, Gentiles, at least sure seems to. Well, I find that little piece interesting because I'm a Gentile. Well, now I'm a son of God, but so it's not just, I don't know, I'd heard of the second Passover, never really paid attention to it. Why would I? I'm not Jewish. It's not just, oh yeah, someplace in the Word of God, he implemented a second Passover and, yeah. No, it's where, when, and why. And for who. Especially in light of a figure of the Lord's return. Of us going to our promised land. let's go back to Numbers. Oops. Hey. Okay, with that in mind, let's keep going. Verse 15. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, so by the way, okay, so Passover 2020, 1 year from when they kept that Passover in 2019. We've looked at how God marked that out 40 days from March 2nd. Okay, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I guess you need to go back and watch the last few videos. I'm not going to get into that right now. But, so God marked Passover 2020 out the 41st day from March 2nd, which is marked out on Phi of the last week of Daniel. So, I lose my train of thought. It drives me crazy. Oh, yeah. And so then we got second Passover, which is 30 days from that. So that would be Passover. We began evening of April 8th. And so it'd be, I think, May 8th-ish. Would be 30 days later, the second Passover. Okay? Numbers 9, verse 15. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, namely the tent of the testimony, and at even there was upon the tabernacle, as it were, the appearance of fire until the morning. So it was always, the cloud covered it by day, and the appearance of fire by night. And when the cloud was taken up from the tabernacle, then after the children of Israel journeyed, and in the place where the cloud abode, there the children of Israel pitched their tents. And at the commandment of the Lord, the children of Israel journeyed. And at the commandment of the Lord, they pitched. The commandment of the Lord was in the movement of the cloud itself. Cloud stayed, they stayed. Because the presence of the Lord was in the cloud. Cloud goes, they go. At the commandment of the Lord, verse 18, the children of Israel journeyed. And at the commandment of the Lord, they pitched. As long as the cloud abode upon the tabernacle, they rested in their tents. And when the cloud tarried upon the tabernacle many days, then the children of Israel kept the charge of the Lord and journeyed not so. And it was so when the cloud was a few days upon the tabernacle, according to the commandment of the Lord, they abode in their tents, and according to the commandment of the Lord they journeyed. And it was so when the cloud abode from even until the morning, and that the cloud was taken up in the morning, that they journeyed. Whether it was by day or by night that the cloud was taken up, they journeyed. Verse 22. Or whether it were by 2 days, or a month, or a year, that the cloud tarried upon the tabernacle, remaining thereon, the children of Israel abode in their tents and journeyed not. But it was taken up, they journeyed. All right, I got to ask you guys. I don't know about you, but before verse 22, I think 3-4 times, and I don't want to count them, but God said, it's a pretty simple concept. He's in the cloud. Cloud tarries over the tabernacle, stay. Cloud goes, go. It was his way of leading them in the wilderness. Cloud goes, you go. Well, he hit it 3 times anyway, in 4 or 5 verses, and he made it really clear. So why verse 22? Clearly for emphasis, but look at the wording of this. Or whether it were by 2 days or a month or a year, whether the cloud stays this long or that long, stay. When it goes, go. Well, what a strange way to say this. He doesn't just say, hey, whether it be a day, a month, a year, a week, however long it stays. He says 2 days, a month, or a year. That stands out to me. And not only does it stand out for that, but so what is that exactly? Well, it's the month of Nisan. So whether you say the month of Nisan is 30 days, or you say it's a prophetic month, 30 days. It's 30 days. Well, there's the month. Oh, and there's 2 days. That's 32, isn't it? It's a year and 32 days, which is 132. Why does that matter? Well, it happened to be yet 40-day warning to Nineveh used 132 times. Luke 11:32, where he says the men of Nineveh repented at the preaching of Jonah. They're going to rise up in judgment against you. Saros series number 132, full annular eclipse December 26, 2019, as part of God's final warning. 132. A year and 32 days. I don't know. Is that how he means it? Well, I don't know. But we'll know when we know, and it is extremely worthy of note. A year and 32 days. Well, when exactly did the tabernacle get reared up? Because that's when the cloud, verse 15, and on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle. It's the day it was reared up. Well, when was it? We know it was right around Passover here. Go to Exodus 40. Verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. Thou shalt bring in the other things, which includes the menorah, by the way. So set up the tabernacle, put all the stuff in it. First day of the first month. Well, okay. I mean, we know they're in the desert. Okay? So first day of the first month has to be, absolutely must be, at this same point in time, second year, first month, first day. Well, in Numbers 9, it says in the second month, in the second year, in the first month. Well, now we know that tabernacle was set up on the first day of the first month. Now, that's literal for the tabernacle, but we know the tabernacle is figurative for the family, for the true temple. And so, is the first day, first month figurative? Why could it be? Well, Jesus Christ accomplishing his work on Passover is a huge marker for the true tabernacle. Let's look at well, I was going to show you something that's I hope God brings it back to me, but let's keep moving. By the way, so we have let's keep going. The first of Nisan, all right, figure. First day, first month. Okay, that can be literal, first day, first month. So the first of Nisan was the 5th of April, 2019. They sacrificed. It's from the sacrifice that they made on Passover. So the 1st of Nisan, the 5th of April, 2019, plus 1 year and 32 days, happens to bring us to May 7th, which is Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. So if in our figure, or considering the figure God is painting here, picture. It seems very possible that the first day of the first month, in light of the figure, is Passover. Or the first day of the counting of the Omer. We'll come back to that in a minute. So May 7th, second Passover, happens to be a year and 32 days from Passover 2019. That is astonishing. Day of the Lord? Maybe, but honestly, I don't know the day and hour. It's a humongous high watch day. As we're in the hot zone, every day is super high watch. And that certainly qualifies. Excuse me. But what if it's a year and 32 days from Passover? What if the counting of the Omer, that 50 days? By the way, that would bring us to May 21st. A year and 32 days from Passover 2019. Super high watch. All of May is off the chart. Let's go to verse 1. Chapter 10, verse 1. Numbers chapter 10. We're going to keep going. I'm going to show you another thing or two here. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece thou shalt make them. All right, I'm going to skip these 10. There's 10 verses here where God describes trumpets. When to blow them, what to make them out of. That's interesting. I'm going to come back to that another time maybe, but the fact of where he places that is interesting to me. Go to verse 11, chapter 10, verse 11 of Numbers. Israel departs from Mount Sinai. And it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year. So, backing up 1 second. So God goes through this great length to tell us, look, when the cloud goes, you go. They went. When it stays, they stayed. And whether it be 2 days, a month, or a year. Is that a year and 32 days? I don't know. Again, it seems very possible, but wouldn't it be extremely, amazingly cool in trying to understand the figure here if God told us when the cloud left? Okay, they kept the second Passover. That's huge. He's got all this stuff in here. Does he tell us when the cloud gets up and leaves? Back to Numbers chapter 10, verse 11. And it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year that the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle of the testimony. And the children of Israel took their journeys out of the wilderness of Sinai. The cloud was taken up on the 20th day of the second month. The 20th day of the second month. Well, you know what's wildly interesting about that? If the tabernacle was raised up on the first day of the first month, and the cloud left the 20th day of the second month, that's 50 days. And if you watched the last video or two, I hope you did, we saw how God ties the number 50, as we looked at Pentecost as a high watch date, and still do, emphatically, that 50 is used 162 times. 5 times. So the fact that it's 50 days here is very interesting. Well, 50 days. So would it be from the first of Nisan? So again, we have this same dilemma of possibility, if you will. The Nisan 1 tabernacle raised up first in Nisan. Is that how he's using it? We looked at that with the 132. We can do the same thing with the 50. That's what it was. It's 50 days from the first day the tabernacles ran up to the second day of the, or 20th day of the second month. Well, that would bring us, for the record, the first of Nisan was March 26, 2020. Plus 50 days is May 15th. And then if God is using that in the figure, the first day of the first month, as either the Passover or the next day, the counting of the Omer, the 50 days then brings us to Pentecost. The month of May is racked with amazing high watch days. It is our privilege to see it. I hope this video turns out and I haven't, yeah, I have a really cool chart that looks at the number 932 and how that is actually, well, that's 800 plus 132. 800, that's the Omega. Jesus Christ is the Alpha and the Omega. Beginning and the end. We've looked at that in light of Phi and Fibonacci. And so if 800 is Omega, on the Fibonacci sequence, it'd go 300, 500, 800. 500 is Phi. And so 800, I'm getting into this and I shouldn't. I apologize. I'm going to show you next video when I can show you a chart. I'm going to show you something amazing that ties to this. It emphasizes 132 even more. But anyway, God bless you guys. I hope you've got something out of this, and I'll talk to you soon, or I'll see you soon. Glory to God in the highest. Blessings to you.